Maybe this movie is going to help you get in touch with your inner feminine.
Ask about Illuminati, since the Charlie upbeat ducks. Is it Disney mind control? Is this MK Ultra Deluxe? Occult Disney, we go from real to real. Occult Disney, Bohemian Grove and no more real. Occult Disney, ask about Illuminati. Occult Disney, we teach occult to everybody. Occult Disney, the wish upon a star. Occult Disney, you know not to travel far. Oh, Occult Disney, the new brand Pinocchio. Yeah, yeah. Occult Disney, it's a boss overload. Occult Disney, please enjoy the show.
Hello, welcome to the Occult Disney podcast, where we take every theatrically released Disney movie and a bit more and look at it with a frozen heart. My frozen heart. This is Matt here, having a frozen heart. Paranoid American there. Is your heart frozen?
A little bit. And also, and a bit more is underselling all the weird tangents that we've got into, which are highly worth looking at too, in addition to just every chronological Disney theatrical cartoon released since 1930 until where are we at now? Where is Frozen?
This
anyways?
came out late 2013. I think it was early 2014 here in Japan. So it came out a little later. Sometimes they take a while to dub, and we will talk about it. But you know, Frozen in Japan had a different singer, of course, doing Let It Go, all that. Also a very big hit in its own right. So many countries, I think Italy won like an award for their dubbing. So yeah. Anyway, people, it came out at different times, but El Capitan was something like November 2013. So.
And for anyone that's listening and not watching, we do have a special guest, Anna Nicole Wordsmith, now like a well-known personality on the Think Tank that we do on Sundays, sometimes Tuesdays, who knows? You got to be paying attention. But welcome to Occult Disney. You specially requested Frozen in particular. So yes. I'm excited to hear what your takes are on Frozen.
I'm so excited. Thank you for allowing me to participate in this episode.
Thanks for bopping in. I mean, this is kind of a tentpole of, I guess, this podcast. I imagine a few people might be coming in listening for the first time or whatever. Hello, if you're there. Hopefully we'll get down a bit into this one. We were talking a little bit before hitting record where this is one of my most viewed movies. My daughter's now 16. That means when this came out, she was about 4, 5, 6. And yeah, I've seen this movie about 6,000 times, though not in the past 8 or so years. So it was kind of a reviewing of it last night for me. But one of those things, it's like, you know, if I watch Ghostbusters, it's like I can play this movie in my mind. I don't actually have to watch Ghostbusters just because of exposure. Frozen's about there. Yeah.
This is the first time that I've ever seen it.
Amazing. I guess you're not a theater guy. Maybe you didn't have the kids around. I will say, when I saw the preview, I remember going with my workmate at the time, and the preview in the movie theater was just Let It Go. It was just that sequence. And I saw that and was like, ooh, no, because I'm not a Broadway guy. And like, I actually kind of like tried to distance myself from the movie for some time. But of course, you have kids, you're going to see it. I do like it. But there's a one thing I just have to throw in. About 2 months after it came out, the movie's so popular, and same coworker and myself were at work teaching English to mostly adults, some kids, and they wanted us to like play Frozen music, and neither of us like really knew what Frozen music was at the time. I'd been distancing myself. He was a like dude in his 20s. He hadn't seen it, so we did this weird thing where I tried to pick a guitar part that sounded kind of like Let It Go, and then he just read the lyrics over it as like beat poetry, and that seemed to somehow make him happy.
I'm sure it went over very well.
The kids were entertained. I think it was kids in this case. So the kids were entertained. I'm like, yeah, you're not getting this now iconic song. I mean, I think anyone can hum it now, but at this point in time, I was like, I don't actually know how this song goes, and neither does he. And you want us to play it? What? Wasn't on YouTube yet. The movie was still live in theaters. So,
well, Anna and I were talking about this a little bit earlier too, because she was just asking me like, well, how, did you like it? And I didn't give anything away. I was waiting until we recorded so that I could give some of the impressions away. But the big one was just that I'm not a fan of musicals, and within less than 14 minutes, you get 3 full songs, and I felt like it was setting the pace for the rest of the movie. So I braced myself. I don't take points away or like critique against it, but I just realized that it's one thing that I have to get over. It's like someone serves you a decent meal, but it has like the one thing you don't like. It just has like a bunch of cauliflower, and you're just like, oh my God, anything but that. But I could still. That
happened yesterday. I ate the broccoli.
Okay.
It was a nice restaurant.
I think that's the difference between me and you, Thomas, is that you're very like logical minded. For me, I love musicals. Like that is the most exciting thing for me is I remember the songs. They stay with me forever. I can take them out of the movie and like helps me learn. I remember I learned the 50 states and capitals from like that Animaniac song. Do you remember that? Like there's something about sing song, like with children, when you're trying to teach them their address or their name or stuff, you teach it to them in like a sing-songy way because that's how their mind remembers it. But I think it's a different part of the mind. And so I feel like I'm very right-brained and like I'm not logical at all, but you are very articulate and logically minded. So that must be.
Well, I feel like I fight it too. I feel like when I start hearing a song, part of me is like, all right, here comes the emotional manipulation. Like, what do you got for me? And I feel like extra set of walls goes up that makes me not able to appreciate it if I didn't do that.
I got the stats for you here. 23 minutes of music, 102-minute film, 10 minutes of that's credit. So it is about a fourth music. Yeah, there's a lot of music here.
It's not so bad. They definitely front load a bunch of songs right off the bat, but there's decent stretches where there's no music, and I guess most of it's serviceable. I think so much of it has just been drilled into my head already over the last decade from it just being popular and hearing other people and like. So maybe I just don't mind it as much.
Maybe this movie is going to help you get in touch with your inner feminine.
I don't know. It's all about not doing that. It's all about suppressing feelings, no?
Yeah. The other songs in the movie do it for me more. I like the troll song. The song the Troll's done. First Time Forever. It's fine. I don't like Do You Want to Build a Snowman very much. I find that song mildly annoying. What else do we have? Let It Go is, I don't know. It's like You Always Know You're My Hero, Wind Beneath My Wings or something, which I think was actually the audition for the two lead singers. They just did Wind Beneath My Wings as a duet because the music hadn't been written yet. And Disney was like, sure, hired.
Now that's a song, although that's not from a musical, right? That just happened to be a song that was in a movie that got popular, but it wasn't like a musical movie.
Yeah, but it sounds like a song that should be in a musical, doesn't it?
I guess, yeah.
One of those showstoppers. So, yeah, on the stage, I haven't seen too many musicals. I think, have we talked about this before? I guess my musical background as far as actually seeing one. When I was in high school, we saw Les Mis in Times Square. That was cool. Some folks gave us tickets to Cats somewhere in the mid-90s, and we were very confused watching that. I went with my family, and my dad and I were just like, what is happening? Mm-hmm. And then I know I mentioned it at least on our anime one about 2 years ago. My daughter really likes the anime JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and there was a 3-hour musical in Tokyo for it. So we went and saw the 3-hour musical, which I made sure to know nothing about JoJo going in, so I would just be like properly confused. So
did it work out?
Yeah, I was pretty confused.
Okay, that's working out.
Yeah. You can order a scotch in the lobby. It's fine.
I think the nostalgic ones I can get behind just because they were drilled into my head as a kid. And then Book of Mormon got a pass because I actually went and saw that one, and I thought it like delivered because like the songs were the plot and it was all funny and informative and like I don't know that like, but that one worked. But I've also seen their original one, which was Cannibal the Musical.
Ooh, yeah, I love that.
I don't know if I was a fan of that one either. It was just
No,
it
that
was a
song,
gimmick.
the theme song, that's been stuck in my head for 30 years now, almost like 25
What's
years.
the theme?
Yeah.
I don't even know if I remember. What's the theme song? Can you?
The sun is gray and all the sky is blue, like a baked potato. I don't remember the words, to be honest. Baked potato was correct, though. That was not an ad lib, but it does say something like a baked potato.
Do you have a
Anna,
favorite
you might have a little
musical?
more. Yeah, you might have a little more musical background, as you just mentioned. What kind of musicals are at the top of your list?
I like all of them. I think my dad would take me to see like musicals in the theater when I was a kid, and that was like always a big treat because they were like expensive, and you felt all fancy dressing up and going to the theater, and then you got to get like the CD or whatever and listen to it for the rest of your life. I've liked all of them though, like Les Mis, obviously I've seen that a bunch of times, and Miss Saigon, and Chicago, and I think I saw Shrek in London, Phantom of the Opera. Yeah, just like, I don't know. I can't even list them all, but
Lion King?
all. Oh yeah, Lion King. I saw that in the theater too.
Oh no, I mean the musical.
Yeah, I saw that in the theater.
Oh, did they have a theatrical release of the musical that was based on the theatrical release?
Yeah, and Beauty and the Beast too.
Okay. See, I don't even. You are far more qualified to speak on musicals than both of us combined, I think.
Well, I will throw in a weird one though. If someone gave me a ticket to this today, I'd be quite excited. I would like to see Starlight Express, which is a musical about trains. The people are playing trains, and they're all on like rollerblades or roller skates, and the set is like this giant, like they have to roll around and sing and stuff the whole time. So.
You know what? You reminded me too. I think Hair gets a pass. I think I saw Hair already not liking musicals, and I was like, you know what? This is an interesting take on musicals. Like that one, I think also got a pass.
I'll call myself a discerning fan of musicals. If it really gets me, that's great. But
I think we're probably like the across the spectrum. Like I'm on one end, Anna's on the other end, and you're maybe somewhere in the middle, not like center point, but somewhere between those two.
Yeah, that works. I saw Singing in the Rain a few years ago. I liked it.
I like the Clockwork rendition version of Singing. Does that count as a musical? The scene in Clockwork Orange? Because I like that one.
Oh, that's a hard scene to watch. It is a good scene though.
Does that make Clockwork Orange a musical?
He sings it later. It's got all that Bach. Yeah, we're gonna call it Clockwork Orange a musical, just to be fun.
You don't have to answer that. Just a thought to gestate on. Is Clockwork Orange a musical?
Or should they make a musical version for Broadway? That's what I'd like to see. Yeah, Clockwork Orange on Broadway. I guess I'll do a little bit of the talking about the production here. Some movies are like, oh, was it successful? Was it not? Everybody knows Frozen was successful. Budget $150, which is actually a little bit less than Tangled, I think. We're the same because we covered that, which was a pretty good success. But yeah, we're looking at over $1 billion, and plus all of the merch and everything. This is a pop culture phenomenon, that rolls. It's a bank in unto itself, I guess, for Disney.
Why is that? What? And actually, more importantly, before we even answer that, does this follow the trend where Disney wasn't sure if it was going to be successful or not, versus the movies that they seem that they like? We know this one's going to be a winner, and then it flops, and then the ones that they're thinking maybe we should just do straight to video. And at the last second, they're like, nah, put it in the theater. And then that one becomes the big one.
This might have the longest pre-production history of any movie ever. This actually goes back to 1937, right before the premiere of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
I don't know if that's fair.
Now that's obviously different people. It goes away, it comes back. But that was one of their first thoughts. What's our follow-up? We do the Ice Queen, Snow White worked out. Let's do another, let's do Hans Christian Andersen, all that. So
interesting. I had no idea.
And the war got in the way. So and they mostly just kind of forgot about it by that point.
It was the Cold War, right?
Well, the World War II. Oh yeah, the Cold War. Gotcha. Yeah, that didn't help either. It looks like there was a live-action Hans Christian Andersen 1952. Where this again was thought to possibly be in it. They forget about till the 90s. It's briefly thought about during the Disney Renaissance in the 90s. That sounds. Harvey Fierstein pitched his version of the story to Disney. That doesn't sound great. It was about to go to Pixar in 2004. Eisner was going to give it to Lasseter, and that's when all the talks break down. Eisner's shoved out the door. Frozen sits in the cold for a few more years. Still called the Ice Queen at this point. It's a pretty late decision that they go for Frozen. They say it was not influenced by Tangled, though. They say they were separate decisions, but no, it wasn't. It's in the coffee at the studios, you know. So when they actually finally make it, it's kind of insane, though. In 2012, it's like, okay, time to make Frozen. So the script gets written very quickly. The movie gets animated within 12 months. It's like
they chose 2012 to start.
To start, yes. Movie comes out at the end of 2013, which for animation, that's crazy.
When the world supposedly ended is when they started.
When the world's ending, but they
production.
planned for the movie to come out after the world ended.
Yeah, well, think about cryogenics, right? Everybody's always so Disney is always associated with ice. Like even the name Eisner, it kind of sounds like ice, but everyone associates Disney's head being cryogenically frozen. They had the whole Disney on Ice production where they would go and do like ice shows for like what a bizarre thing to have. But there seems to be like a connection between Disney and, like you said, starting with Snow White, right?
That's my favorite theory about Frozen in general is that Disney decided to name it Frozen so that they could Google bomb everyone that was searching for his frozen head. And just to put like the normie Snopes rates that false explanation out there, it's that officially Walt's family had him cremated, and I think like his remains are somewhere in like Glendale, California, or somewhere like that, and that he was never cryogenically frozen. That he didn't. There was some contestant that if he even knew what cryogenics were necessarily before he died, and that it was a rumor that probably just got started and then like kind of got out of control. So that's the official normie explanation, is that he never got frozen, never even knew what cryogenics were. Someone made it up as a joke and it got out of hand.
I think he did know what cryogenics were, though, because
I
in
think
the 60s,
so too. I'm just
it was
saying,
starting to come up like, hey, here's something we might do. Let's take one step further and say he did get his head frozen, then they put it under Cinderella's castle. Now I'm going to put on my rational guy hat and say, well, the technology, did it really last 50 years without failing? Guessing not. Did the people running it not screw up? You know, I feel like even if they froze it, it probably thawed at some point.
If you look into modern day 2025 cryogenics, they all believe in this thing called last in, first out. This is like typical logic for a whole bunch of different industries. But basically, last in, first out, because if I get frozen today and then they find a way to thaw someone out in a year from now, there's a much better chance that they can thaw me out, that I've only got a year of freezer burn on me, versus going to the back of the freezer and finding Walt that's like stuck to whoever else Walt was frozen next to. And you know, when you got to like pry the two pieces apart and then like the edges are all like white, and you know that it's going to have like a smell to it even after it's like thawed out and stuff. So that's kind of where Walt would be. And most modern cryogenics believers, they basically believe that anyone that was frozen before like 5 or 10 years ago, they're going to be in there for like maybe a century or more until the technology is so far advanced that not only can they thaw you out, but they can thaw you out and repair freezer burn.
Right on, yeah. But it's also a theory that the more time that passes, the more it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, Elvis isn't dead. Well, he is now, most likely. What, he'd be 90 now? So I think we can...
Whatever they had in Demolition Man worked.
That was good. Yeah, Idiocracy, they had some functional stuff there. Not in the future, just in the, the present of that movie.
Why do you think that rumor persisted, though? Like I think, you know me, I think of everything in layers and metaphor, and like there's like metadata in the meaning. So do you think there's any...
I think it's the Nazi connection. He was connected to like Nazi space technology and like weird mysticism in that angle. So, and he had the resources and he was a kooky guy. So you kind of add all those up, and it's it would be more like, well, why wouldn't he? You know what I mean? Like it would be easier to just say that he did it. And then logically, it sounds like something that out of all the people on the planet would have done, Walt Disney sounds like he had the means and maybe the thought process to do that. I don't necessarily think that that's 100% true, but I can see that it seems just as logical.
Yeah, I was just saying, why not just chuck his body into Antarctica? You know, that should do the same trick, right?
Oh, Antarctica. The Nazis, huh?
That's where that came to mind. But I was like, if it was like, hey, we could cryogenically freeze you with this 1960s technology, or we could just deep freeze your body in Antarctica. I don't know. Both options sound reasonable now that
it will be.
They both sound like the end, to be honest. But whatever.
He was like a chain smoker, right? I'm just thinking, like, what if they actually cryogenically were able to thaw him back out? They bring him back to life, and then he dies of lung cancer.
He's about to, right? He
had the Club 33, right? And doesn't water freeze at 32 degrees?
Yes.
Or is that when it stops freezing? I forget.
Yeah, it's a little. Think of a snowy day. Though. I don't know what part of. Where do you live? Do you live in a snowy place?
I live in Texas.
Oh, you don't get so much snow there. Okay.
And I'm in Florida, so no.
Okay, so I live up in the mountains. That's why I'm bringing it up. Sometimes it's like 35 and it's still snowier in hell because just the residual snow is kind of keeping itself cold a little bit. So you can if you're at 33 and it's already snowed, it's not going away.
But it is a common 32 degrees Fahrenheit is the common marker because water can turn into ice or into liquid in a few different degrees, depending on a whole bunch of like super chilling properties and stuff. But yeah, that's an interesting. Although I don't think Walt ever made it to the 32nd degree, which would have been Scottish, right? He was in Desmoulins, and as soon as he got out of Desmoulins, it doesn't look like he re-entered Masonry, but he continued to support Desmoulins for the rest of his life, it seemed.
I mean, as we've gone through history, it seemed Walt's shtick was like, "I'll start my own society."
Dude, he did that with Bohemian Grove too. He gets invited to Bohemian Grove, and I think he's a guest there. The records on like when and where are a little bit murky, but that he goes there, and he was probably like, "I don't know if this is exactly my thing," and then ends up creating a new one or like co-creating a new one where they dress up as cowboys and they go out and they camp outside. So it was like very similar to Bohemian Grove, but more cowboy than I guess than whatever weird stuff they do with under the owl statue.
Yeah, I'm sitting here I can't remember her name, but he's got, is it like Red Tree Lodge or Ranch? I'm typing Lodge. I need to write Ranch, but
it was like Rancheros something or other.
Smoke Tree Ranch. Became a member of the Smoke Tree Ranch. And I think it's like even on like the robot they built, like his tie's got the label like of that. So it seemed that was an important one. Maybe that was his society.
Oh, what do they say? All hat, no cattle. That seems like a Walt Disney cowboy.
Yeah. Well, he was more of a polo guy. Can a cowboy play polo? I have heard the argument made that Disneyland occurred because of Walt Polo's injury, because that was his hobby, and then he got hurt and couldn't play polo anymore and had his back injury. So he got into model trains and he needed a place to put his model trains. That ultimately becomes Disneyland.
I've never heard that one.
I've heard that. And that a lot of people that get real deep into Disney and can afford it, they'll end up putting little trains around their houses. There was like a few, when I was working at Disney, a few of the execs, I don't know why, but that was like a weird flex, was like, hey, check this out. It was like a video of them like riding around in a little miniature train in their backyard that they had like rigged to go all over it. And there was another guy that was like, I'm working on mine right now. It was the weirdest meeting I had ever been in. But apparently if you get high enough in Disney, it becomes a thing.
No, in the mid 40s, Walt did build a train set like that around his house. And I think in 1952 or something, someone crashed a train and it was too expensive to fix. So it's like, let's make a park instead.
Trains are related to like time and death.
Go on.
Like the time zones were created around the train tracks. And when you see like the Holocaust, right? Everyone got taken in on the train. And then Grand Central Station became Grand Central Terminal, which is like symbolic of the soul train. So, and then what, like on on The Good Place, everyone got brought to the afterlife via train, which is interesting because
Okay.
The Good Place also had Kristen Bell, who was also in Frozen.
In Beetlejuice 2, the train is what takes
Yeah.
you from like the first death to the final death.
And as
Yeah.
we're going through these, just need to throw in, if you don't know it, one of the best Twilight Zone episodes is Stop at Willoughby, where he keeps seeing this idyllic town and he finally gets off the train, right? So, which suggests that he is not alive at the end of that episode.
Okay, fair point. Yeah, Disney and trains, it all leads to death. I guess
I have a great
everything
time on
kinda
trains
does.
myself. After this, I'm getting on a train and going to work.
No, that's right. Okay, go die.
Is
London
work the
train
second job?
bombings.
Shinano Railway is mostly just tourists. It is funny when I commute to work. It's a little rural line in the Japanese mountains, and because it's not the main train company, it's really appealing. So a lot of times I'm getting off for work, and there's a bunch of people like taking pictures. So it's kind of
Oh
weird.
man, those sarin gas attacks, that was also happening in the trains, isn't it?
Subways, yes, which is apparently still the reason we can't have trash cans in Japan. That's actually like the number one complaint with foreign
Wait,
tourists
what?
now.
You can't have trash cans because of sarin gas in the 90s?
Yeah, people hide bombs and sarin gas and stuff, and that's actually the number one foreign visitor complaint now, above language gap. That
What, the sarin gas attacks? No,
the lack of trash cans, because
okay.
let's say you buy a soda or something, you drink your soda. Living in Japan, I'm going to stick it in my backpack, and when I get to a convenience store, maybe I can throw it away. And I around my house, I always have these vending machines still have a place to throw cans. This one got rid of theirs for some reason. So
dude, you should come back to the States. It's so great here. Like, they shut the entire government down. You could just go to Yellowstone now and just throw garbage all over the place. You could just like drink half a soda and just throw it, and no one's there to do anything about it. It's great.
I was in the States a few weeks ago, and I was like, hey, we're just going to there's a trash can in the barbecue place. I can just throw this
you don't even have
plastic
to though.
bottle
You
in
can just throw it out in nature. Nobody cares. It's great here. It's beautiful.
Okay, there we go.
God is
land
watching.
of the free garbage.
Yeah. God is watching.
God knows you threw that in the forest.
Yeah.
So getting back to the movie, I guess a little bit is they claim their biggest bugaboo for this movie was trying to work out the title, or to work out Elsa, because through most of the iterations of this movie, Elsa is a pure villain. At some point, they decide that Anna, who is always going to be the protagonist, they'll be sisters now, with Elsa still being evil. And at some point, I guess they had to adjust her to be confused and misunderstood. They do credit Let It Go with being the key in doing that. Oh, we have a sympathetic villain song. Why don't we lean into that? We'll be looking into that. That might not be what we find, but that is what the official featurettes and documentation will tell you.
Is this the first sympathetic Disney villain?
I hate it when you ask these questions, because
because now I'm putting you on the spot a little bit. But again, the reason
how about Sword in the Stone, where Merlin and that witch are both kind of like gray area?
No, Merlin's the good guy, and
he's the good guy, but we found a lot of bad stuff there.
Yeah, you have to ignore the real world and just go on the movie world. And he's the good guy, she's the bad guy. That one's pretty clean cut, even though he's probably molesting Arthur.
They did distribute Ghibli, and I would suggest that several Ghibli quote unquote villains are certainly somewhat sympathetic, like Old Baba and Spirited Away.
That doesn't count either.
But that's not. Yeah, I understand that doesn't count. Just they distributed it.
So no, this might be one of the catalysts for Disney starting to take this turn that we're in now, like a decade after this comes out, where now it's like Cruella de Vil. Here's the reason why she was really good. Maleficent, right? Did Maleficent come out after this or before this?
Like right after. Actually, I was looking in Japan. It was number one for like several weeks, and Maleficent is the one that took it out. So
this one technically predates Maleficent, and Maleficent was, I think, like the first official. Wait, no, the bad guys are really good guys, like Disney's 1984 thing.
Okay, I have a few things to answer your question that might be of interest. Toy Story almost did that by making Woody more villainous, but they kind of pulled back on that. The one where I guess we get a somewhat sympathetic villain might be Ratatouille, where the food critic is shown as villainous, and then sort of has his bliss moment transported back to childhood eating the ratatouille. So it adds some sympathy. So that would be my closest hit before.
But he's
a critic though. He's not villainous. He's not turning the world to ice and
plus he's not a protagonist. He's not a main character. In this one, clearly Elsa's the main character. In Maleficent, clearly she's the main character. In the Cruella de Vil movie, she's the main character. So it's not just like a background character that gets a story arc where they transform and turn good, but it's like a retelling of like, oh no, wait. But I guess in Frozen, they don't have to wait to do the original movie and then do a retcon later. They kind of like do it all in this one movie.
We do have Frozen 2 to get to. Now, it's interesting you say Elsa is the lead because she would be in that Maleficent Ursula role up until late in the story writing. And Anna always would have been the main character at that point. She's your Ariel. She's your Belle, right? She's got the love interests.
It's hard for me to feel bad or relate to Anna because she's just a bored rich girl. Like that, the worst thing she goes through is that she's super bored in this like awesome palace.
Well, I think in fairness, like they both had their traumas that shaped them into who they are.
We got the Anna apologist here, of course.
She's not that bad of a villain for one. She's kind of just avoidant. She's got an avoidant attachment style. She was born with magic, and then she's like, she like kind of lets go, and she's having fun with her sister, and they're both free and open-hearted and playing. And then she accidentally hurts her sister. And that in that moment, like that trauma gets kind of frozen in both of them, right? Because it like Anna's hair, she gets that white streak in her. And then Elsa has like, she's caught in like fear and shame. And then she becomes avoidantly attached. Like she's afraid to get close to people because she's afraid she's going to hurt them. So she distances herself. And then by distancing herself, she's isolated, but she's alone and maybe a little bit lonely, but too afraid to get close. It's like really quite tragic when you think about their individual circumstances. And then Anna, she's got that's like typically created, she's got the anxious attachment style, which usually happens in childhood when someone has inconsistent caregiver, someone who's there for them and then isn't there for them, and they never know which way to be. And so they become very needy as people. They need to be, they need closeness with other people to feel safe. And so it's avoidance and anxious attachment styles create like a paradox within themselves because they somehow, for whatever reason in this matrix, always connect. And then once they do, they create like a trap because one of them's trying to get closer. The more one pushes to get closer, the more the other one pushes to stay farther. And then that makes the other one more anxious and more try to get even more. It's just like a cycle of torment that we go through.
One take I've heard on this from a few friends, and we haven't seen, or at least Thomas and I have not seen Frozen 2 yet. But I had a friend who said, especially that movie, but watching this one, I was like, this one works too. It's like, yeah, they're actually some of the better X-Men movies. Because if you just like, oh, it's not magic, she's a mutant, and they're saying, well, that pretty much tracks with that sort of thing. Which I don't know, as a old school comic book geek, that I was having fun watching it with that lens last night.
Well, she's not a mutant though; she's born with this ability.
Mutants are born with their ability in the X-Men universe, right?
Or she was given it by the troll magic. It seems that everything bad that happens Disney, in this movie comes from troll magic.
They might seem cute at first, but yeah, those damn trolls.
Plus, if it just all things being equal, you've never heard of Frozen, like you're just out in the world living your life as a normal person, and someone's like, "Hey man, you want to do some troll magic?" None of that sounds like a good thing. Like something good would happen from troll magic, and yet in this movie,
are rocks, right? Aren't they rocks?
Yeah, well, rock/trolls, yeah.
Okay, so like we use rocks and crystals for healing all the time.
Yeah, but if you actually look into the origins of these particular trolls from the Sami people, and I think they're called like the Stola or something, and the actual background of these trolls in this region that are marked by Kristoff, who they steal as a child and they raise him as one of their own, even like the traditional clothing that Kristoff wears is from these Sami people, and the Sami people describe these trolls as literal cannibals that eat other people, and that they fillet and butcher children, and they torture them if they make noise on Christmas. And this is true. They're I guess it was a way to keep kids quiet on Christmas for, I assume, some sort of like a natural preservation, like bears are around. I don't know what the reason is, but
avalanches, I don't know.
And that there's no trace of any kind of good troll magic from this entire region and this entire like time period. So maybe, but it would be the first time. It would be like a foreign concept for troll magic to be good in this region.
I was talking to. Oh, go ahead.
We don't need any troll magic apologists on this show just popping up out of nowhere.
My bad.
I was just going to throw out. I just looked at the wiki again and saw nothing about this, but I do a chat on my Sunday nights where one lady that comes in is from Norway, and I mentioned, yeah, I'm doing Frozen this week, and she mentioned that there was a little bit of controversy about the Sami not completely liking the depiction, maybe partly because of that from this movie.
I mean, it inverts it. They're called the Stalos. And the reason I even bring this up is because when Anna was like, well, aren't they rocks? Because now the modern, if you were to like look into this and go to this region, there's some national parks that have things called like Stalos stones. And the Stalos stones is apparently rumored by the Sami people that these are the most ancient civilization, like ruins of their civilization that they even know of. And that they put these big rocks like on top of places to like hide treasures or something. Like there's something that's specifically about these troll stones. So the combination of the troll figure and the stone figure in these Stalos stones actually has some kind of a merit to it. I only had so much time to go into tangents this week, but this was like a really deep one.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you can tie that in with, UK stone circles or things like that. Are these piles of rocks or like circles that they're generally? Is it like we're going into the forest and we're finding these stones and we're just saying they're trolls?
I got a little excerpt because I figured this might come up. So first of all, the Stalos are produced as half human, sometimes trolls who eat and rob people. Also seen as a kind of demon or devil created and sent out by the shaman to take enemies. And that they are rich beings, but also stupid. And that in all the fairy tales, that whenever a human intellect has to go up to one of these Stalos or troll intellects, the human always wins out just because they are so stupid. But that doesn't equate like magic. Like, what if they use magic against you to make you forget all of your memories or something? Like, that would be a way for them to trick you, and then you can't use your mind against them. And then for the rock, the Vindel Fallen Nature Reserve contains remains of ancient large building foundations considered by Sami to be ancient remains of Stalo dwellings. And there's a huge stone placed on small pebbles on top of some lake that I can't pronounce, which literally means the Stalo stone. Legend dictates a Stalo would have placed a stone here to prove his strength. So like the trolls would move rocks around to show like how magical and powerful they were.
I'm just thinking, in Japan, you climb a mountain, typically at the top of a mountain, or even like a small hill or something, you'll often find a pile of rocks. The idea being, when I guess you have shown your strength to get to the top, you add a rock as a hiker or whatever. So,
that's ego though. Then you just ruined the whole walk.
Hey, I've never added the stone, but you see them,
you're
too lazy to add the stone.
Honestly, you should knock those down. Just because it's like what's when the monks do the little sand sculptures and then they blow it away in the wind or whatever. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, a good storm will probably do. I don't know. How much does it take to move a pile of pebbles? I'm sure they get blown around the winter. They can't. Yeah, it's got to be a new one the next year.
You're helping them out. If someone does that, you're helping them out by destroying their artwork because you're helping them destroy their ego.
By destroying what you. I'm giving you ego death. That's isn't it egotistical to do that though? Now we're stuck in a vicious cycle.
Well, only if you're doing it because you think that it's good that you're doing it.
Okay, you have to be pure at heart, and then you can destroy people's art.
This is also why I destroy children's sandcastles whenever I see them on the beach.
What?
But
they don't know it, but it's like it's good for their ego. It's good for it.
You may be crying now, but you'll be
right. It'll toughen you up. Don't be so attached to the material world and these Saturnian laws that you're being forced to live under.
Well, hey, on Saturday, I had a 3-year-old completely pissed off at me because first I wouldn't let him climb around on my head because honestly, if he stands right on your shoulders, that's fine. But once he starts pushing down your neck, that's bad news. So I got him off there. 2 minutes later, I'm teaching a bunch of other kids and he's just throwing a trash can around the room. So I had to stop him from doing that too. And then he was very angry at me because for stopping him throwing trash cans around the room.
All right, Kronos.
I was gonna say with Anna though, I guess the trolls have like magically gaslit her then because she's really like the only one. Like Elsa didn't have her memories replaced, right? Just Anna.
Just Anna, and I have some personal problem with this solution in general. They said first they're like, look, you're gonna hurt people if you don't know how to protect and like not use your magic. Like you got to go to Professor X like danger room and figure out how to use your Iceman power. Otherwise, you can hurt someone. And they scare the family and they scare the girls with that. And then they erase Anna's memory. But the whole thing was that so she's not afraid of her own sister. But in reality, they just avoid each other that whole time anyway. And it almost seemed like her having a healthy fear of something that could actually kill her might be preferable to severing the connection between two sisters for a couple decades as the parents, sail off somewhere and then literally die.
Meet the Little Mermaid. Have you heard that one? I like that. People want to tie the movies together. Like, the parents are going to, I don't know, Cinderella's or Belle's wedding. And in the Little Mermaid, Ariel's like, place of Tinker and Toys is that ship at the bottom of the sea.
It's close enough just because of Hans Christian Andersen, I assume. But also there's the rumors that they sailed off and they shipwrecked, but then they washed up on the shore and then gave birth to a Tarzan. And then immediately were attacked by a jaguar and died. So technically, Anna and Elsa are brother and sister to Tarzan.
I like that one, but I prefer the one that Ariel likes to play in the bones of Anna and Elsa's parents.
I guess.
Choose your poison, and then in this case, I guess. Hey, it's your headcanon. You choose the one you like.
But that implies a much darker or like more complicated story where it was just Anna's and Elsa's mom that survives because they have to get with King Neptune, right? Because King Neptune is the real father of Ariel. So I don't know. It seems like you got to add more pieces to that.
Yeah.
Well, and the temporary amnesia is like, that's a trauma response too. But like what you're saying, except that it seems like it's unintegrated. And so it always does remain on the shadow or the unconscious. And so even though they think it's better to like just wipe the memory, it's something still lingers. And I wonder if that happened to all of us, like collectively, like the magic, right, that we used to have in this world. Like when we see the giants and stuff, like this world, I think, used to be a lot more magical. And there's been some sort of collective amnesia that's come over the entire
more troll magic.
Yeah.
Well, you get down to the idea that collective unconsciousness, around the planet is, modifying the planet, like Mandela effect. Maybe we're all doing that together, that sort of thing. And then you do think, 20 years ago, I guess the vibe was different, right? Although,
I mean, the trolls literally figured out how to do what MK Ultra was trying to do. No, that's like almost exactly what they were after. And I'm super suspicious of the trolls in this universe, like the Frozen universe, because if they can so easily take your memories away from you and then like wipe your mind clean, who's to say that they haven't been doing that to everybody? And like you just wouldn't know because they've already erased your mind. And also, what happens to those memories? Like knowing the real backstory of these Stalo creatures, but if they lack human intellect, they're like, oh, we'll just wipe your memory. But I'm like, are you stealing the memory? Like, what happens to the memory? Does it just evaporate and turn back into ether? Or now do the trolls get to like consume it or use it or somehow exploit the fact that they now have human intellect? Because one of the most recurring themes in all the different Disney movies is that when you've got like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, great example, if these were being made alongside each other, is that in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, they have an agreement that Snow White is going to trade human intellect and compassion and teach it to these earth elementals that have no idea what human consciousness is. And in exchange, they give her like these jewels and these precious minerals from underground where the light doesn't reach. And then she gives them all this light and everything. But in this movie, the trolls are just taking things. Like there's no transaction here. They take children, they take reindeers, they take memories. Like they're not necessarily giving anything back at any point.
Well, their advice, and it's in the dialogue, it's in the song, is what? Conceal, don't feel, right?
That was from the dad.
Concealing.
That was her father that taught her that. It wasn't the trolls. The trolls were like quite supportive and doing that.
Well, yeah, because like we're their alien ant farm, like we're their food.
Yeah, I'm sensing a resistance to the trolls. Why do you feel it that way towards them, Thomas?
This isn't about like a Freudian breakdown of. I think trolls are ultimately and like villains. That's a villainous archetype, and it's just weird that in this movie they get this pass when clearly in this movie they are the source of everything bad that happens. I feel like that's such an obvious on the cuff thing. Like they're the ones that suggest we have to wipe her memory so that these girls like that Anna won't be afraid of Elsa. They're the ones that said that, and everyone's like, all right, I guess we got to do what the trolls say. Like the dad whisks them away as soon as he finds out that Anna got blasted in the face with like the icicle or whatever. He's like, I know exactly what we got to do, and he brings them right to the trolls. Like no one's using any human intellect anywhere in here. It's almost like an idiocracy mentality where they're all like, oh, it's got electrolytes. We got to go to the trolls. They got electrolytes.
Too much trust in trolls. You don't want to trust the trolls is your thing. You will not trust the trolls.
There's a wisdom.
Let me flip that around. Why do you trust the trolls so much?
Would you consider them elementals?
Maybe, because they are rock. They're literal rocks in this particular movie.
So there's a wisdom, an ancient earth crystalline wisdom within them.
Oh yeah, I mean Lucifer has wisdom, right?
Would you trust the seven dwarves' advice?
Well, what kind of advice? If it's like take a left on that tunnel down there, maybe.
Oh no, that's bad advice. Don't go down that tunnel. No, they want you to invest jewels in a certain way. They're going to give you financial advice. If one of the seven dwarf, is it Dopey that we're talking about though? I guess that's a good question. Nah, Grumpy. He sounds serious. You'd take his advice,
Okay.
right?
The dwarves represent like all sorts of things, right? Like the chakras or the colors of the
That
rainbow.
came
Like classical planets. Yeah.
7 vices.
I brought it up because when we covered that movie, we were very much into the they are elementals vibe, which makes me think, oh, them and trolls are like a few shades apart, but the dwarves are a little more, they look a little more like humans. They're technically a little.
Wait, here's
old
another
man cute.
good example to stitch those two together, because in Return to Oz, the bad guy is technically like a big rock
The big
elemental.
rock. I was thinking about him. Yeah.
And he's pissed off because humans at that point have just been taking the emeralds and not giving anything back. That's his whole beef with humans. And that previous to that, there was an equal exchange. Again, it's that Snow White rule where if humanity is willing to share their consciousness with this material world, then the material world will give it like literal gems in exchange. But humans aren't allowed to just take the emeralds. And I guess in this way, the rock elemental trolls in Frozen aren't allowed to just like take your memories and just like take everything from you.
If
It's
you
just
watch
like the
Frozen
vampires, you have
2,
to invite them in.
there's the actual rock giants, like the same one that's in Oz is in Frozen 2.
Well, in Frozen 1, there's that big snow giant, which feels like rock giant adjacent, that she creates to like protect her palace.
Yeah. Her protector.
Which does feel that does feel like kind of a like that snow giant didn't ask to be there and defend that, and then it doesn't work out. So it's kind of like Elsa creates life multiple times. I guess we need to talk about that.
One of my questions: how exactly is Olaf created?
From Josh Gad's voice, I guess that's the actor. By the way, you're asking about actors, and one of the things they were worried about Frozen when it came out is like Tangled had some names in it people recognized. Frozen didn't really. It had a few Broadway people, but
yeah, well, it had the same how do I say her name? Idina Menzel or something. I don't know how to say her name.
That's why I didn't say it first. Stop.
Yeah. It has the same like feminine archetype as Wicked. Like the two female leads is the same thing. And then yeah, that's who's in this one too.
I like that. I actually think that it works well, although to me, Elsa clearly is the main character, and Anna just kind of falls by the wayside. She like what Anna's going through. It's kind of like a more mild version of Tangled again, where it's just like, oh, woe is me. I'm so bored. I'm so rich. I got nothing else to do. But she doesn't actually do anything in the movie necessarily. She's kind of like the damsel in distress the entire time, whereas Elsa's the opposite of that. Elsa's like the opposite of a damsel in distress.
When
There's
everyone's
like
telling her she's stupid for instantly meeting and engaging herself to Hans, everyone's like, that's insane and that's stupid. And it turns out that, yes, that's insane and stupid. And there's real bad stuff there.
Well, there's a fire and ice alchemy going on between them too. Like Elsa is like the ice element. Anna is fire. She's warmth. She's earth. Elsa's more spirit. And Anna, like the fact that she's attracted to Hans from this like southern isle, like that still represents this like the southern chakras, like the lower, the root, the passion, the desire, the like the sex chakra.
And it does seem like Anna fits the archetype to be a Disney princess. There's even a scene where she runs out into the forest and all the animals kind of just like come to her and like jump up in her arms. And that's like typically in a Disney movie, that implies magical princess of some kind, that they can commune with nature unlike anyone else. But also in Frozen, it does seem that Kristoff also can commune with nature, and he's been able to do that since he was a little kid. So he also seems like he's magical, like he's a magical prince or something.
It kind of threw Disney into a bit of a marketing conundrum, though, because they got Anna. She's the princess, no problem, princess. We got Elsa. She's the queen, right? But she's just as popular, if not more popular than Anna. So what do? If you want to put all of your princesses on a thermos, now we have a problem. So it's become this interesting thing where Frozen has been kind of like cordoned off from like the rest of the Disney princesses. So they can just put Anna and Elsa on their thermos and sell it to 4-year-olds.
I mean, I gotta be honest, man. When like up until I actually saw this movie, for some reason I thought Anna and Elsa were like two lesbians or something, and this was like a DEI movie.
Well, there is the whole thing. I mean, I threw out the X-Men thing, but the other idea is, Elsa's in the closet. She's the one not having romantic relationships, right? I mean, well, she's in a room for certain, right? So there is. I've heard that as an interpretation here, where Elsa's kind of like closeted.
She's also like a priestess archetype. If she's more married to spirit, she takes on like a virgin role or a celibacy position. Like a virgin used to just mean a woman that belonged to herself. I don't think it had anything to do with sex originally.
I like that better too. That's why, I mean, on my end, I had already gravitated more to the she's a mutant angle, which, to be fair, the X-Men have always kind of run with the sort of like, they're closeted idea too in the X-Men 2 movie, where it has like the guy basically has to go and come out to his parents that he's a mutant, right?
They kind of indicate too, though, that Elsa can create life. She don't need no man to create offspring, right? She can just be like, bam, we got Olaf, bam, we've got Ice Giant. I'm sure that like part of that archetype, it's kind of like she's an alchemical wizard creating like little homunculi of some kind, right? Like it's essentially a golem that she creates when she makes that big snow warrior dude. So she doesn't need a prince and she doesn't need a king. Like she can go on and create an entire clan of like weird little magical snowmen that die when the sun comes up.
Well, as you sharpen your homunculus making skills, I mean, what would you rather have, the 10 little homunculus around the house or your actual kid? I don't know. Olaf's weird, isn't he? Yeah. I mean, Olaf is of course, Olaf is cute, but Olaf's disturbing when you think about it, because it's like he seems to have experience, even though he's only been alive for 20 seconds. He has these instilled dreams of summer, and he's stupid. He's only been alive for 10 minutes. But why does he even have that much going on,
I thought he represented her inner child. That's how I took Olaf. Like when she was a little kid, that's when we were first introduced to him. When she embeds him when they're playing in the ballroom, and then he's still like the warm hugs. Like he's still the part of her that wants connection and wants to be, but she's kind of isolated that part off from herself, like ice and isolation. She's like isolated him off, but that's still a part of her. And so, same with the monster. That's a part of her too. Like we create monsters that keep other people away, but it's not like the full scope of who we are. This is a part of us.
So are getting real metaphysical. Does that mean that Elsa's basically like shaving off little parts of her soul and creating these golem or whatever? Because I think the general take is, Olaf is actually sentient, but the way you're saying it, Olaf is not sentient. That's literally like part of Elsa just kind of copied or cut off. That's another part. Did she copy and paste to make Olaf, or did she actually have to like give part of her, Harry Potter Voldemort style, split up her soul to do that?
In part 2, you see that when Elsa starts to like die, so does Olaf.
Okay.
Not to spoil. Sorry, I didn't mean to do a spoiler.
That's fine. It's been out for 10 years.
Well, now I don't have to watch the movie. Yeah.
But it's interesting when Frozen 2 came out, my daughter was now 9 or 10, and she didn't care about watching that one. So
I love that one. I just watched it. I didn't even know there was a Frozen 2. And
I'm looking for 3's coming out in a year or two. But no, I'm actually looking forward to watching. I haven't. So
a 9-year-old girl has aged out of the Frozen franchise?
In her case, it seems so, yeah. I kind of that was one where I expected we were going to watch it. What came out right before that? Zootopia or whatever. And we liked Zootopia a lot at the time. So Moana, we watched Moana a lot. Maybe she's gotten over Frozen, Maybe it's like that's a when I was 4-year-old thing, and now that you're in the 10 years old and kid terms, that's like, ooh, I wouldn't like the thing I liked when I was 4, right?
Did Frozen 2 come out in movies? Like to me, I just assumed it was like a straight to video thing that Disney likes to do. But
no, it was a massive theatrical success. I'll do it when we do the episode, of course. But I will throw the box office at you right now for that because I'm curious.
Oh, okay. I had no idea. I mean,
when they print money like that, if you make like $1 billion, they're like, all right, we got to make another one.
Frozen 2 is more successful than Frozen 1. I guess you adjust for inflation, maybe not, but yeah, same budget, 150, 1.453 billion, whereas the first one was 1.2 something. So yeah, actually Frozen 2 looks like it was as successful, if not more successful.
Oh, cool. Well, it was good. I liked it.
Okay, good. The review I heard recently, again, not having heard the movies, was great song, nonsensical plot. So their worry is that Frozen 3 will have like mediocre songs and a plot that makes sense.
And Tarzan.
I guess that's the level of consciousness of the person watching it too, right?
Yeah. One person's gibberish is another person's masterpiece, But yeah, we'll get to it. That is one of the ones I'm very curious to see because I haven't seen it. Also 2019. So yeah, my daughter is definitely aging out at that point. And
it came out right before COVID?
Yes. How soon before COVID? Actually, yeah, 3 months before COVID. Okay, interesting.
Wait, Frozen 2 or Frozen 1?
Frozen 2.
Frozen 2.
Yeah, so it would have been one of the last big Disney movies before they started making absolute garbage.
Are we saying they caused COVID? Are we just going to come out?
Yes, Elsa, the turning the world to winter didn't work, so she tried something else.
Well, coronavirus was just like one of the in the family of the common cold, right?
Yeah. Is that word usable again? There's Corona beer, right? In my town, there's a Corona bar. Fender guitars are made in Corona, California. Is the word losing its
the movie had now? Elsa's coronation too.
Right. And speaking of the coronation, I swear to you, I don't like look for just weird, morbid things, but the scepter and the ball and the orb that she's got, they looked like the Pear of Despair. Have you ever heard of the Pear of Despair? It's like this old medieval ancient torture device. But if you put a picture, we're not going to pull one up, but if you put a picture of the scepter and the orb next to the pair of despair. It's like, I don't know why they designed this thing, because maybe Elsa didn't know because she's in a fictional universe and they just gave her this thing. But the Disney animators making her in the 21st century knew that this thing that they were creating looked like the pair of despair.
They took multiple field trips. One real easy one to Solvang, California, which is just a Danish style town in LA. But they also went out to, what is this, Røros or whatever, some Norwegian towns. I wonder if someone maybe just found like that in a museum. You know, it's written in Norwegian. They can't read it.
They can't tell.
So I wonder if they copied it not knowing what it was.
Apparently it's called the Pair of Anguish, although Pair of Despair sounds way cooler, but
that's
the Pair of
alliteration.
Anguish.
Yeah. But I see that's how I like to think these things happen. Someone just saw it, didn't know what it was. That's cool. Let's use it. And then now wait a minute, this is actually this is a medieval torture device.
The worst of the worst of the torture devices.
All right, yeah. I'll look up.
Yeah, ask your parents. Kids, ask your parents about the Pair of Anguish. And ask them why it was in the movie Frozen.
Yeah, now look, and of course here, and then there's several in the parks now, several rides. But I did make my way into Arendelle a few months ago. It was really hot though, so it was full summer.
They've got one at Epcot now too. I forgot what they remade into it, but now there's a Frozen ride at Epcot.
Maelstrom, which was an amazing ride, is now Frozen Ever After. Tokyo has taken that ride, put it on steroids. Basically, it's still a boat ride though.
It's called Frozen Ever After.
In Epcot, the one in Florida, not Florida, excuse me, the one in Japan is, I don't even remember what they call it. It has some long name. You call it the Frozen ride, right?
The old Epcot one used to be like a Norse Viking adventure where
and it had an oil rig too. It ended with a rainy oil rig. I love that ride.
I thought it was cool. It was a downgrade what we've got now, because now it's just like a bunch of screaming babies in line instead of what it was before. Like, it's people that want to see Frozen and then they get disappointed by like kind of this ride that was originally built in the 80s and 90s.
Right. So in Japan they have, since it's brand new, they built the Arendelle Castle and stuff, and it's basically an entire Frozen land, and I think China has it too. So anyway, I did that. It was like a book report ride with like really high special effect, production values or whatever. That's my review, I guess. But it was weird because a boat ride feels like slightly like non-controllable. They're usually slow, like Pirates or It's a Small World or whatever. And this one, it's kind of being controlled, but it's kind of not, which was kind of an interesting vibe. Is
there one in California, a Frozen ride?
I don't think so. I think it's Shanghai, Tokyo, and Florida at the moment. Although I like the movie Frozen a lot better, and I don't like Beauty and the Beast that much when we talked about it, but the Beauty and the Beast ride does kind of, for me, blow the Frozen one out of the water. So, what you like with the rides and which movies you like are not necessarily the same.
Interesting. Is Beauty and the Beast better than Frozen? And you say no? You think Frozen's better than Beauty and the Beast? We're talking movies or rides?
Movies, I'm going to give it to Frozen. Rides, rides in Japan, I should say, I'm going to give it to Beauty and the Beast, like hands down.
I don't think there is a ride in Florida for Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, they used to have a restaurant, I think.
Yeah.
But they've changed. I haven't been there in like 20 years, so, I'm sure I wouldn't recognize that place. I bought a beer from Oaken, though, almost literally. So, because they have the stand where you can buy the beer, and then they had the Oaken. I didn't know, they had someone actually selling it, but they had the walk-around guy there, so I just say I bought a beer from Oaken. No sauna though. You cannot do a sauna at Disney Sea.
So that's the only reason that Club 33 was special, was just because in California you couldn't get a beer unless you went to Club 33. But then when they built the Florida park, especially Epcot, and now you don't even have to be in Club 33 to get drunk in the park. And then when they built all the other international ones, I don't think they cared there either. So Club 33 really was the most special to people that were stuck with just the West Coast Disneyland.
See, here in this brilliant future, I can ride Pirates of the Caribbean while drinking a beer.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. But I just remember the pirates because they were like drinking beer in the ride, right? And you could see it going right through their
I
skeletal.
think they're drinking rum. I think they're drinking rum, but you're
Same
going through
difference in a Disney movie.
problematic animatronic Johnny Depp's being like, drink up, me lads. I'm like, sure, because the secret is this is Tokyo again, but there's a beer stand across the way from Pirates. You buy it, you drink 40% of it, so you don't, spill some on the drop, and then you can ride Pirates while drinking a beer.
So we wouldn't be able to handle that in the States.
Probably not. No, they'd end up in the. Also, Tokyo gives you the thing where if you're not there in the middle of summer, you're probably wearing more wintry clothes, so you have coats and stuff. Where in Florida, you usually don't. This is a high level ride hacking, but yeah.
More. Well, it'll be a new ongoing series.
High level ride hacking, yeah. People probably like to hear that. Let's see. I'm just taking a little bit through my notes. Step
1: don't get out of the car in the Roger Rabbit ride. That's the first big hack.
I'll tell you, when I ride that, I do feel an element of danger now because of your Roger Rabbit story. People go back and look it up or listen to it elsewhere. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, one more time.
Huh?
That's fine. Let's move on. Roger Rabbit had a horrible accident, and now I feel a bit of trepidation when I get on it. I still ride it though because it's fun.
It's the most horrific Disney death in park history, I believe, on any of the parks. Was at the Roger Rabbit ride when a small child got caught under one of the cars, and the ride didn't stop, and it just kept moving around the track, and it just ground him into like a nub. But he survived, but he just lived in pain for the next 10 years, and then succumbed to all of his injuries from the ride.
Oh my God. Which Disneyland was it?
The one that was the happiest place on earth, of course.
Yeah, it was OG California. I don't think the Tokyo one has had horrific accidents. So
what do you think about that with the symbolism of a rabbit?
What do you think about it with the symbolism of a rabbit?
Well, rabbits are like tricksters of the underworld.
I've switched to the Japanese interpretation of the moon. Like when I look at it, this is what I see now. Because you look and you see the man in the moon. And since I've been living in Japan, it's just interesting because I got the moon there. We're thinking underworld. And Japanese folks, when they look at the moon, they see a rabbit making mochi, like rice cakes. Like there's a rabbit like mashing something. So that is actually the interpretation we see when we look at the moon. Well, I can actually kind of flip my brain now. I can see the man in the moon, or I can see that's kind of exciting to look at the moon.
The moon relates to the subconscious, right? So that would make sense too of the underworld, because that's what Jung considered the underworld, was the collective unconscious.
Then there's the idea that the stars being portals, the moon being a large portal. I always like those ideas. Those are fun to talk about. I think those usually go with flat earth things, but that's why it's fun to talk about it.
If you had to ascribe those to Frozen, though, right? Like Elsa would have to be the moon. She'd have to represent the night because the sunlight would melt all the ice. And then we even see that Anna is like akin to the summer, and that like everything about her is like summertime, which would be like sun worship or like at least solar deities, right? So like the two of them also seem like they represent moon and sun or night and like dark and light.
I guess that works.
Oh, go ahead.
I guess that works as like Olaf being an extension of Elsa's soul as well, as opposed to a sentient being, because Olaf likes Anna. He wants to be friends with her, but he loves summer. That's Anna's vibe, and the closer he gets, the more he's going to melt.
Yeah. And that fire and ice alchemy goes all the way. Like, I feel like we had it a lot with Donald Trump, but with his first term, or when he came on the scene, he was all about like, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired. And then when he came in his most recent term, he's like, ice raids, ice.
Yeah, and they both imply like an exertion of force and authority. and he's literally going from fire to ice. That's funny.
Yeah. And like even Game of Thrones, that was huge in the collective conscious. And that was also like a game, or what was it? A Song of Fire and Ice is what they called it. And it had Daenerys with her fire breathing dragon and Jon Snow. Like there was like an alchemy going on there with the White Walkers and the ice wall representing like the known world, like the consciousness against the unconscious, I guess.
And I was just thinking the collective unconscious is kind of banging its head on a wall with Game of Thrones because so many people got into it and George R.R. Martin just stopped writing the book. So it's like, how does the story end? Nobody knows. You could watch the TV show, which has an end that nobody seems to like. He could write the book and nobody would like it. It's just, so many people. I have to admit, I don't really know Game of Thrones. My dad, I noticed going home, he's got all 7 seasons on Blu-ray, so he's into it. But it was kind of like one of those things where it just didn't quite stick the landing in a weird way, where it just never happened. The guy never wrote.
It didn't have to even land it. I think that's the problem. It's like they messed up the landing, but everyone on the plane was like, we didn't want to land here. Like no one even wanted to land, and you guys, not only did you land, but you screwed up the landing. Yeah,
because I bring it up from time to time. The TV show Lost, I was pretty obsessed with on TV, and the end of that just kind of it sputtered into a corner and died. But it was clear like the creators were taking it into that corner and doing a bad job themselves in that case. Where Game of Thrones is interesting for being a real big thing that just never quite got resolved. I guess Frozen doesn't need to be resolved so much. This is a pretty self-contained movie, right? Even if it does have 2, or soon to be 2 sequels.
Well, and just, I don't know, like, I just feel like there's so many ice comps lately, and literally like Psychology 101, like we associate the subconscious with iceberg, right? Like the tip of the iceberg versus like what's under the surface.
Like Fight Club, that was where he would always go to, was his ice cave.
Oh yeah.
We could call Olaf Tyler Durden if we want. If we're the part of Elsa's soul thing, I like that. Yeah,
I like that. Like a cut where he goes inside his head instead of the penguin. There, it's Olaf. Yeah,
yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah,
that actually sounds like one of those more recent spoof movies. They'd probably try that in there, like disaster movie, date movie, that sort of stuff.
I was thinking about because after COVID, also we had Joe Biden, and he was always eating the freaking ice cream, right? Like there were so many videos of Joe Biden eating ice cream that we were shown during his term, and then when he resigned on National Ice Cream Day.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's when he dropped out of the race. Was on Ice Cream Day,
and he had other things to do.
And even with us, like everybody having to move to Zoom after COVID, everyone had to do all their conference calls and stuff on Zoom. And that's when we got like the frozen screens where someone would be sitting there and then like we just like glitch out, right? We're frozen.
Although as much as Zoom has issues, I guess we're not using Zoom now, but Skype was an absolute nightmare. Zoom was always an improvement over Skype. Oh my God. Trying to do podcasts on Skype's like the worst thing ever.
Yeah, no, I just meant I didn't mean particularly Zoom. I just meant like any video conferencing.
Well, now it's the first time that it would be normal to hear multiple times per day, you're frozen. Matt, you're frozen. Anna, you're frozen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like 80% of business meetings or my teacher meetings. Because I'm at a different school. I'm on my iPad or whatever. And, it's like, if more than one person is talking, I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
I do think that also part of the name of this and how common the word frozen is continuing to be. There's this part of Disney that makes sense that they're just trying to copyright and trademark and own as many common words and phrases and archetypes as they can. So just having ownership over the word frozen itself means that they could technically throw their weight around legally if they really wanted to on anyone that has the word frozen in any of their products. So like they're slowly, like on a long enough timeline, Disney just owns the rights to every word in the entire English language, and you're not allowed to use any of them without getting some kind of like licensing contract with Disney.
They kind of stopped that for a while because first I'm like, to support your theory, Brave came out a year and a half before this, so that's a pretty
Cars, planes. Like, geez, man, they're gonna go for all the monosyllabic words first.
Then they don't do it for several years. I'm sitting here looking at the list. Then in 2020 they choose Onward, which isn't. I mean, you can have that one. I don't need that word. Now they're getting back to it. We've got in the past couple of years we have. Wish and soul, right? So it seems maybe they're getting back to it. Hex.
Do you think they're telling us something about ourselves though with these terms? Like planes also represent dimensions. Cars are related to like incarnation and karma. Frozen is like, are they telling us something about ourselves? Like, are we frozen? Are we frozen in our emotions? Are we frozen in time? Are we frozen in like a place where we have not advanced? Like living in a literal time loop. It feels like it.
I think it's noble to look at it like that because you can take what they're actually doing and turn it into like an introspective process. But in my mind, I think it's just because Disney's like, if we come out with a movie and toys and Happy Meal, that are all themed after cars. Now, all these idiots out there, every time they see a car, hear the word car, they'll think of our movie. And I think at a certain level, it actually works. And if you can own that many simple words that just come up, like when someone's like, oh man, like my screen went frozen. If you're in a big enough audience, at least one person in that audience is going to be like, would you want to make a snowman? Like they're hearing like the song just because someone said a word. And now if you've got that with all these simple words, I think that seems more Disney's style, is to like, how can I make money off you and your children for the rest of your lives, and less about how can I guide you to enlightenment.
Okay. All right.
I guess it's how you use it as a tool, though, right? I mean, you could take many things and use it as a tool one way or another. Now, you're getting into the intentions of the company itself, which
I think Walt might have the enlightenment stuff there, but like at the time of Eisner and like Disney Corp, it's definitely they just want to extract money.
That's what I'm saying here. It's like, what is, rule one to get? That's the thing. It's not like, I don't think it's so much like we're trying to destroy your brain as we just want you need to become one of us and keep giving us money, which, works to a certain degree, doesn't it?
Yes.
I was waiting for an answer. You want to pull on any other big threads on this one?
I got just a couple annoying questions that I usually do.
I love annoying questions.
How does Elsa make her dress? Is that just like an emotional outburst? She makes dresses.
You mean her Ice Queen dress?
Her Ice Queen dress. It literally, the same time that she's creating the castle and she creates Olaf, like this sentient entity, golem homunculus thing, but she also spontaneously creates a brand new dress. So it almost implies it's like a weird ability that I don't think I've ever seen someone like. When they get angry, they unconsciously create a dress for themselves.
When Bruce Banner gets angry, he becomes the Incredible Hulk, doesn't he? But no, I actually did chart that last. I was like, does that mean she's like running around naked now, technically? Because she's just got her ice on now, right? Cold doesn't bother her anyway.
There's another theory that Kristoff is Santa, which is interesting for a couple different reasons. Because he's got the connection to the reindeer, that he's from the Sami people, and the Sami people, I believe, aren't the exact same ones that would drink the reindeer pee and like trip and hallucinate, but it's adjacent enough, close enough. They probably got yurts. But then
he at least admits he eats boogers. He doesn't say he drinks the reindeer's pee, though.
Well, that would also mean that Elsa turns into Mrs. Claus on a long enough timeline, or is it Anna? Yeah, Anna.
Yeah.
Becomes Miss Claus.
Well, Santa is also a fire and ice polarity too, right? Because he's got he comes in from the North Pole and he's snowy, but he goes through the fireplace.
He goes to the little yurt chimney, yeah.
He wears red, takes mushrooms.
Also, it seems like if you go on the theory that the trolls are the bad guys, that Kristoff is also a bad guy.
It's kind of their minion, isn't he? He's like their henchman in that case.
I feel like this is like such a projective test, like on like where our psyches are coming from. He seems perfectly like he seemed like the most grounded, stable character in the whole
Oh,
movie.
see, okay, I can stand up on this one a little bit because, okay, so Kristoff, he has what was his deer's name? Do you remember his little sidekick deer? Sven. So Kristoff has Sven, which is like his homie, his go-to, right? But Kristoff is wearing Sven's parents as his clothing, right? Like literally, if you look at the Sami people and you look what he's wearing reindeer skin as his clothing, and it's not like reindeer shed. You don't like shave them like and turn it into like a sheep cloth or whatever. But when they actually show Sven and with Kristoff is wearing Sven's parents in my mind, and that's what makes Sven like him because he smells his mom on Kristoff, but Kristoff is just wearing her skin, and that like everything that he does seems manipulative. The trolls are maybe using him to be this agent of manipulation, but it seems that he's this catalyst that the trolls are sending off into the human world to like catch a human with power so that they can increase their power a little bit. And what happens is that the trolls, we already know from the very beginning of the movie, can change human perception. Like that's one of their abilities. They can change human perception, erase memories, plant new memories. So it seems that maybe they can energetically charge Kristoff so that when they go back into town, that troll magic jumps to Hans, and now Hans starts acting out of character because the troll magic just made him do that, so that Kristoff becomes the new one. That I don't know. It seems very calculating, but that's what trolls are doing. That's what trolls do, is they try and steal human intellect.
And while Kristoff seems very nice, he does talk to himself a lot under the guise of talking to Sven, right? So he might be a little addled up there. I mean, it's charming in the movie, of course, but if when you start thinking about it a little more.
Here's
And
the
also
most emotionally connected, grounded character. I do question why he's
raised
so
by
tight.
trolls and wearing his best friend's parents' skin as his clothing.
What if they died of old age and he was like, here? And it
So
was
that
like
would be kind of, if
it's
someone
like that
showed up and they were like,
soft-
I'm wearing your mom, but don't worry, she died of old age. Are we still cool? I feel like you'd still have a problem with it.
thing. Like it's like it made him feel connected to him still after missed his mom.
Maybe. Okay. I can see you. It's still a little bit weird though. I don't know if I'd call it grounded and connected if you were raised by trolls.
I thought
Yeah, it's like,
Kristoff was a very nice young man, and I would approve of their relationship.
I don't trust them. Because look, first Anna meets Hans, and everyone's like, you've only known him for a day. How could you get married to this guy after a day? How long did she know Kristoff? She didn't know Kristoff for more than like a day or two or three. And they get,
Yeah, they
and then
trauma
also
bonded.
he does the same move.
True love is what was it? He loved her enough to let her go forever.
But he
Something
didn't
like that.
because I don't know. I feel like there's a contention here.
I mean, at the core, it's really, I guess, more of a sisterly love story, which is, and we're seeing that again. Like that's kind of what Wicked, they're not sisters, but it's the same vibe, right? So
Yeah.
that's a very popular sort of
feminine
very popular
Artemis.
story type right now.
goddesses of the moon.
I finally watched Wicked on the plane back. Maybe it was good. Too many songs for you if you're not wanting the songs, but otherwise it was pretty good.
I don't know if any of the guys in this movie are good. They all seem bad. Like I'm not just anti-Kristoff. I think I'm anti everybody. Anti-Hans, anti-Elsa and Anna's dad, anti the old guy that literally comes in town because he's trying to take advantage of everybody. Like every guy in this movie is either inept or evil or dead.
Or trying to rip you off.
Do you think they were like trying to socially engineer a race of Amazon women who don't need men anymore? And this was like the first plantings of their seeds?
They could. I mean, so this is actually would be terrifying if you were like a male alchemist, if you were like a Merlin in the woods and you're trying to make your homunculus. It's because you don't have the ability to create life on your own. You couldn't do it even if you wanted to. So you have to use these alchemical and magical means. But if you find out that a woman is out there creating a homunculus when she already has like the procreative ability to create life on her own. It's like she's like a double threat, right? Like now all of a sudden, like there's a problem that, what do you mean someone that can already create life is also creating artificial life before I can do either one of those two things?
War of the genders.
Without trying in her case, right? I mean, she has to control it, right? It's kind of out of control. She'll just keep creating more Olafs if you let her. Maybe. I don't know.
And I feel like this might be because usually Disney is trying to hold on to the male audience or like tap into it somehow. Like maybe at this point they're already, did they own Star Wars yet? Or because it feels like they threw
buying it around this time. Yeah.
Okay. Because it doesn't seem like anyone was in the boardroom and they were like, wait a minute, we need to appeal to the male audience by XYZ. Like that
they were obsessed with that with Tangled, right? That was like kind of Disney's obsession at the time. Like we want this to appeal to boys too. Following this, how soon after is it? Right? Yes, one. Okay, the next major animated Disney movie is Big Hero 6. So that one is like, here's a robot superhero. So that one is clearly trying to.
And that
push
one
in the
also
other
made
direction.
$1.4 billion, didn't it?
I can look that up for you if you want, but yes, it was very successful. It has.
Oh, was it? I was
rights
just
now.
trying to make a joke, but because I guess I've never seen that one either.
I want to say 666 to be satanic.
Okay, it's more than I made this year.
Oh man, am I a savant? 657.8 million. Anyway, yeah, so very successful, not Frozen successful.
Okay, so Disney found their money printer again right around this time.
And how popular is Baymax in the States? Because in the past couple of years, Baymax has become like insanely popular in Japan. I have a student that comes Wednesday night and she's got a Baymax every week. Baymax bag. She's got Baymax crap in her hair. She's wearing like a Baymax t-shirt. You know,
that's kind of cool.
That's like an ice monster too, right?
He's a robot, but he does have a snowy look to him. Yeah,
he looks like it. Yeah.
Although that's his gushy inside. We'll get to that movie very soon. But you put a mech suit on him, then he's a military robot, nanotech robot or something. We'll get back to it. I've only seen Baymax like once. Big Hero 6, excuse me. They even just call it Baymax here because that makes sense.
Another annoying question. This is my last of my annoying questions that I think. Does an iron sword shatter when it hits ice?
Not enough of a swordsman.
Well, the answer is no if you live in the physical reality with the rest of us. But in this movie, in Frozen, they show that. They show Hans like going to hit Elsa, but then Elsa or Anna, and then she freezes, and then the sword, like it shatters into 100 different pieces, which means that maybe it's not ice, maybe it's something else, and it just looks like ice.
Frozen steel could just be really thin, maybe thin. I guess you wouldn't have thin swords then.
Yeah.
Maybe though.
Does the steel get more brittle when it's really cold?
Okay, now I'm definitely out of my depth. I don't know. Is it like the 9/11 towers, like the jet fuel weakened? So in Frozen, like her freezing weakened the steel, and that's why the tower fell.
Yeah.
So, well, Elsa was spotted there 2 days prior, so
she got an advance call.
Yeah. I guess we'll start winding down, but Anna, do you have any other big points you want to put on this movie? Because you definitely have a few different perspectives that would not have come up with just the two of us talking. So very cool.
The only other thing I thought, like in terms of like pop culture, because that's the reason I was so drawn to this movie. Because I personally have like a little bit of an avoidant tendency, so I relate to Elsa. I don't think she's a villain, but also like this year it started with ice raids, and then with that whole Charlie Kirk thing. Do you remember when like they supposedly put pictures of the shooter at the Dairy Queen, and he had an Iceman poster or a Superman poster behind him? Do you remember that?
This is after it happened. He went and got ice cream.
Yeah, they said that they supposedly had footage of him at Dairy Queen, and he was standing right in front of the Superman poster. And like Superman also had ice. He has his like Fortress of Solitude.
Solitude.
Yeah. So like going back to more isolation, And Superman also has avoidant personality tendencies. Like he doesn't really allow himself to get close. Like in the movie,
because his powers can kill somebody that he loves.
yeah. So he and Lois Lane have like a bit of a frosty, tense relationship at times too. But but then when Kash Patel like gave his tribute to Charlie Kirk, remember how he said, "I'll see you in Valhalla." It's also ridiculous, but I don't know. I just feel like there has been so many like cold, frozen ice comms that have been layered through the media in all sorts of different mediums. But I feel like there's like a theme here that is asking for a deeper examination. What does it mean?
No, so I'm curious what your answer to that is, because I get a very filtered media and a lot of it's Japanese. So now, I mean, you're mentioning the points. Oh yeah, that was there. They don't get shoved too hard in our direction here. So I'm curious if.
I think Disney planted a literal $2.5 billion seed, and now Frozen is relevant in almost any discussion you can come up with, because $2.5 billion is relevant in any discussion you could ever come up with. So I don't know. I feel like that even if Frozen itself wasn't part of the zeitgeist and didn't influence it, like it is now because of the force of Disney behind it. So
you think it was Frozen that manifested all of this other stuff?
Or it can pay for the ticket to be in the room. I don't know how else to say that. It's like maybe a horrible example, but like the early boy bands in Orlando, like 96 Degrees, and there was one called O-Town. There was like a few of them, and the guy that ran all these boy bands, his name was Lou Pearlman, and he would just like list himself in the credits, even though he didn't like play an instrument. He didn't really produce anything. He just kind of like put the people together, but he would list himself as one of the musicians for like some egotistical reason, whatever. And because he was making it all happen. So yeah, I'm going to be a player. And I almost feel like Disney does that. Disney like injects themselves onto the world stage, and they're like, I'm going to throw $2.5 billion behind something that's relevant in a bunch of different ways. And now they get to just like have a seat at the table, even if you didn't invite them, even if like Disney isn't relevant, they can afford to be relevant in any situation. And Frozen's a good example of that.
Again, owning the word isn't it? I mean, that's business practice, especially when your business is to appeal to people and get people's attention through marketing or whatever. One of my favorite stories for getting some money is the Star Trek theme. The lyrics of the Star Trek theme were written by Gene Roddenberry. Did you know that? The lyrics
I don't know who
for
that
the
is.
Star Trek theme song, which you've never heard, because he wrote them. They were copyrighted with the song, and it's an instrumental, right? So he just kept getting checks for the lyrics he wrote that were never used.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. I mean, if you can get the nice work, if you can get it.
More fun Star Trek facts. I believe that the Captain James T. Kirk was originally supposed to be Captain Albert Pike, which was based on
Captain Pike
Freemasonry.
is the first. Captain Pike is actually in the current show Strange New Worlds. Captain Pike. He's not Albert though. What is his name? I forget. Captain Pike.
Yeah, they don't call him Albert in the new series, but I'm pretty sure that there were some older versions of like the earlier pilots where it was supposed to be
Jesus
Pike
to play him.
on.
They've cast Jesus to play him, Jeffrey Hunter, right?
Well, speaking of like things that should have happened, I'm not a huge fan of needle drops, maybe as much as I don't like musicals, but I was desperately hoping for a Foreigner Cold as Ice needle drop somewhere in Frozen. It would have made me like appreciate it just a little bit more.
If it were DreamWorks, you would have gotten your wish. I guess we'll start winding this one down today. I actually have to catch a train soon, so.
Oh my gosh! What time is it there?
It is 11:45 in the morning. I'm wearing a suit, 1 to look cool, and 2 because I'm going to work after this.
Going in late today? Isn't this late?
I'm going a little late today. That's correct. Yes, because yeah. But Anna, you want to tell the people what you're up to for the plugins?
I don't. If anyone would like life coaching to help their improve their own personal matrix or identify their archetypes or their subconscious blocks, you can find me at alignedlifecoaching.info.
All right.
And I'll follow that up too with, you should also come and check Anna out on Sing Tanks when we end up doing them on Sundays or Tuesdays or whatever day we end up doing them on.
Yeah. I can be there on Sundays. That's the day I can make it.
All right, let's bop the ball up in your corner of the Hollywood squares, I guess.
Man, what is the new one? I think I plugged Lee's Demons. I finally got the website up now. So if you go to leesdemons.com, LEES demons.com, it's a 160 plus page graphic novel I've been working on for, I want to say like 7 or 8 years now, almost as long as Disney had been working on Frozen. And it's about Lee Harvey Oswald learning how to hunt down demons and steal their hearts to make magic bullets, which he must then use to unsuccessfully save the life of the president. That's all I'll give you. But there's 160 pages of it, so there's lots of like extra cool little nooks and crannies and stories about the CIA and magic and voodoo. So it's a really, really fun ride.
Oh my God, how cool.
I'm right on my end. I'll just shout web addresses at you. You can see the one here. I do a lot of media podcasting, Twilight Zone, movies, things like that at podcastius.org. And hey, Frozen's a musical movie. Head for rovingsagemedia.bandcamp.com, where I make lots of folk rock, electronic, psychedelic sounds. Have not covered any songs from Frozen, though. You will not find that there. Rocky Horror, yes. Frozen, no.
Foreigner?
I haven't done any Foreigner, sorry. Have I tried to do any metal anthems? I you know what? I can't hit that vocal range. I know my limits. Let it go, let it go. I can croon it. I'm going to croon that. Croon some Foreigner. Cold as ice. Okay, maybe I'll do a crooner version. That'll be my Vegas act. I'll time travel back to the 60s, and they'll think they're my songs in the 60s. Foreigner, yeah, rock on.
All American stickers, cryptids, cults, and killers. We got all your favorite conspiracies, all of that and more on our sticker sheets. Paranoid American stickers, they'll make you smile and snicker. False flags and secret societies, all of these and more on our sticker sheets.
Explore the unique with Paranoid American sticker sheets. Unearth tales of cryptids, cults, and mysteries through each sticker. These won't last long. Get yours now at paranoidamerican.com.
All American stickers, cryptids, cults, and killers. We got all your favorite conspiracies, all of that and more on our sticker sheets. Paranoid American stickers, they'll make you smile and snicker. False flags and secret societies, all of these and more on our sticker sheets.
What the heck are you waiting for? Discover the extraordinary with Paranoid American sticker sheets. From cryptids in the night to cults out of sight, each sticker is a unique find. Get yours now at paranoidamerican.com.
Paranoid. Yo. I scribble my life away, driven to write the page. Will it enlighten your brain? Give you the flight, my plane, paper the highs ablaze. Somewhat of an amazing feel when it's real to real. You will engage it. Your favorite, of course, the Lord of an arrangement. I gave you the proper results to hit the pavement. If they get emotional, hey, maybe your language, a game, how they playing it well without Lakers. Evade them, whatever the cost, they are the shapeshift. Snakes get decapitated, met is the apex. Execution of flame you out, nuclear bomb distributed at war, rather gruesome for eyes to see. Max them out, then I light my trees. Blow it off in the face, you're despising me for what though? Calculated and rather cutthroat. Paranoid American must be all the blunt smoke for real. Lord, give me a day away, vacate. They wait around to hate whatever they say. Man, it's not in the least bit. We get heavy rotate when the beat hits, so thank us, you're welcome. Fuck the niggas for real, you're welcome. They ain't never had a deal, you're welcome. Man, they lacking appeal, you're welcome. Yet they doing it still, you're welcome.